Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 71st episode of Don't Forget the Popcorn. Now, a little while ago, I did a video ranking the top 10 best Westerns ever made. It was a pretty solid list, but a lot of people had a lot of problem with my picks. I'll link that down below if you'd like to check that out and criticize me for yourself. Now, I'll admit, since making that video, I've watched a lot more Westerns and have discovered some great ones, learned some things, and have shuffled my opinions a bit. And in the very near future, I will be making a part two or a redux to that video with some new ones added, some move forward or back. And I think I'm going to go with 15 or 20 instead of 10. I love these damn movies, and I really can't tell you why. But before I make that video, I wanted to review one I somehow had never seen. I feel like a damn noob not seeing this one until now, especially because it is directed by the great Howard freaking Hawks. The Western classic in conversation for today is El Dorado, 1966. Directed by Howard Hawks, starring John Wayne, Robert Mitchum, a young-ass James Caan with hair, and Charlene Holt. It is based on the 1960 novel The Stars and Their Courses. Now, Johnny and Howard are two of my favorites together. Rio Bravo is one of my all-time favorite Westerns, and Red River is up there as well. But I think this movie gets slept on when talking about best Westerns, or even good ones. Seems to live in the shadow of those two a little bit, and I think it needs some light shed on it. If you haven't seen this movie, I'd turn this off because I will be spoiling this thing. Or take a listen and see if it's something you might like to watch. Now, right away, we get it jumping with our two leads meeting up and getting right into it as Sheriff JP, played by Robert Mitchum, is greeting his old friend Thornton, played by John the Duke Wayne, with a gun pointed at him while he's having a shave. First thing, Johnny and Robert have some fun and playful but stern chemistry. We see Thornton has a love interest in Maudie, played by Charlene Holt. We learn that Thornton is a gun for hire that has accepted a job by a rancher, and he learns from the sheriff that the job is going to drive the McDonald family off their land. Thornton rolls up to the rancher's place and tells him he isn't going to do the job. So this is a nice little scene as we see how hard our lead really is as he sizes up all the rancher's little goons. Thornton and the rancher know his dudes aren't a match for him and immediately tells them to back down. Now, in this one scene, Hawks tells us a lot about our lead. He has a moral compass and compassion. He is a feared man with a strong reputation, and he is very intelligent and thinks quick on his feet. Hawks understands a lot of things about storytelling that I think a lot of filmmakers don't. One of those things is don't make things too complicated when they don't need to be. He keeps this a simple and fun story. John is playing his typical but always effective, big, strong, wise gunslinger role, but somehow, in some way, he always brings something fresh to every adaptation of essentially the same character. What's unique to this character here is that he brings a softness that's actually apparent to the eye in this character, even though everyone knows he isn't to be fucked with. Something like a protector or a father type. As he is leaving after his conflict with the rancher, Thornton is surprised to find one of the sons, Luke, of the McDonald family sleeping. He awakens, startled, fires a gun at Thornton. Thornton fired back in reflex, hitting the kid in the stomach. The kid is ashamed and removed himself from the planet. Feeling guilty, Thornton takes the kid back to the McDonald ranch to tell the family what happened. More evidence that our lead has empathy and is a stand-up guy by common social standards. Most cowboys back in the day would have popped that kid and left him there to rot. But this man did something he really didn't have to. All he did was defend himself. The McDonald family had one daughter, a pretty little gunslinger who did not like the fact that Thornton shot her brother. She rides off ahead and waits for him, and when he least expects it, this fiery little mink shoots this man. He does survive, obviously, but the bullet in his back can't be pulled out, and months down the line is now causing random bouts of temporary paralysis through the right side of his body. Now, this lady acted on impulse. I understand wanting to avenge your brother, but his death was an accident, and she took a shot at one of the best gunslingers and protectors in the area. Now, this bullet isn't easy to get out, and the local doc says he needs someone with more expertise. Some time goes by, and we end up at a fun little cantina in some random town. This place looks fun with some pretty ladies around, drinks, food, the works. This is a beautiful scene with beautiful vibes. Thornton has avoided El Dorado. In the bar, everyone is chilling, and in walks Mississippi, played by James Caan in a super young performance. I mean, he had hair on the top of his head. How often you see James Caan with hair on his head? He approaches the table with a few men having drinks and confronts one of them. He claims that he killed his friend with three other guys and that he'd already killed the other three and he was the last one on the list. Mississippi doesn't have a gun, so the leader of this outfit is intrigued and is curious as to how he's going to do this. The guy stands up and Mississippi pulls a knife from the back of his jacket and throws it right into his chest. It was pretty badass. Of course, all the other dudes are ready to kill Miss, but Thornton steps up and saves him. The leader of the gang figures out it's Thornton and wants to hire him as a hand for a job. The job is a job that he originally turned down in El Dorado. He turns it down and finds out that JP, the sheriff, is in bad shape, drunk, and that a girl ran out on him. So Mississippi and Thornton run ahead to El Dorado and they confirm with Thornton's girl and the deputy that yes, the sheriff is now a drunk. In this time, we get some of the best stuff Westerns has to offer. Outlaws becoming buddies, learning things from each other. Some fun scenes riding with that beautiful Western cinematography. The fun, cliche, but always effective Western type of score. This is a Western through and through. Plenty of the usual, but always fun tropes. Howard Hawks somehow knows how to mesmerize the audience through these mediums. He blends the score and cinematography perfect to invoke a certain mood. A good one. He puts you in the world through his films. I mean, it's even apparent in some of his non-Westerns like Bringing Up Baby or His Girl Friday. Even Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and Scarface. I think he goes so overlooked as a director and a pioneer for film. You rarely hear his name brought up when speaking of the best filmmakers. At this point in the movie, we are in it along with the guys and a part of the posse. We are back in El Dorado, and JP is in real bad shape. We get a fun fight between Thornton and JP, and of course, the Duke handles business. JP decides to get sober and stop being the laughingstock of the town. From this point on, the action is rolling nice. The rancher from earlier has one of McDonald's sons killed, and JP, Thornton, and Mississippi track the men into a church, and they have one of the craziest shootouts of Westerns. One of the men escapes, and he leads them right to the rancher, who they arrest. Now, the dude from the bar earlier, his name's McLeod. He wants to get him out, since, of course, he is his employer. The tension starts to build, and they plan an attack on the jail. JP gets shot in the leg, and Maudie brings him some supplies to help him out. While out patrolling, Thornton and Mississippi run into some trouble. Thornton has a paralysis attack and is captured by McLeod's gang. They want to trade him to get the rancher back. Well, they do, even though Thornton tells them not to. He's a prideful man, of course, but now we got a big problem. The rancher's men kidnap one of McDonald's boys and demands the McDonald's hand over the water rights if they want him back. Thornton rides in the front of the rancher's saloon, while the other guys go around back and give a signal, and Thornton shoots McLeod and kills him. Then Joey, the girl who shot Thornton earlier, shoots the rancher. Joey shoots the rancher, saving Thornton and essentially righting the wrong of shooting him earlier. The doc in town agrees to operate on his back, and he is likely going to stay in town and end up with Maudie. Now, simple film, simple tropes, simple ending. But this simple Western story is way too much fun to deny, and one I don't hear talked about enough. Its magic lies in its simplicity, letting the actors, score, and cinematography just roll the story right along. We get our classic Western everyman role from the Duke, a fun, naive performance from James Caan, and a sobering and honest performance from Robert Mitchum. This movie perfectly captures the essence of a classic Western, putting us right in the mood, right in the time period, right in the boots of our outlaws and gunslingers. Painted with beautiful cinematography and a classic Western score to pull you in, El Dorado's themes are simple and apparent. We are here for mindless escapism. Getting to live a life some have only dreamed of and never will. The life of a gunslinging badass sounds like a lot of fun. I often think what my Western name would be, what type of cowboy I'd be. I see myself as the loner, underrated gunslinger who people only know through urban legends. If you are a Western fan, I would absolutely check this one out if you've never seen it. If you have seen it, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Overall, I'm going to give El Dorado a 7.8 out of 10. Guys, thank you so much for watching my El Dorado review. Let me know if there's a film or topic you would like me to review. I got a podcast with my buddy, The Cutting Room Floor. I'll link that below for more movie content. Follow me on Letterboxd, Ralph Vader. I'll link that below as well. Please do your boy a favor, like and subscribe. I will be back next week. And don't forget the popcorn.